Alright, how y'all doing? This is Red. I did want to read just a short excerpt or a part of that Lessons from Argentinian Economic Collapse by FarFel. Just to kind of give y'all a taste. Forgive me kind of the poor quality of my my videos. I am doing it off my phone. I'm trying to get a little bit better at it. And I'd like to get a camera here pretty soon just to do a little bit better job at it. I still don't have a good editing program for this yet, but just kind of forgive me. They will get better, I promise. But so I just made a video and posted it prior to this one, just kind of giving a short review of that article, Lessons from the Argentinian Economic Collapse by FarFel. If you want to see that video, just go to my channel and just take a quick look at that. It's the video preceding this one. Anyways, I do wholeheartedly recommend everybody read this. It took me about 2 hours or so just to read it, but it changed my life. There are parts of it that you're going to read and it's not going to quite make sense, so you reread it until it does. It really just kind of blows a lot of urban legends and misconceptions out of the water. But anyways, just to start out, services. Whatever sort of scenario you're dealing with, services are more than likely to either suffer in quality or disappear altogether. Think ahead of time. Analyze possible shit-fan scenarios and which service should be affected by it in your area. Think about the most likely scenario, but also think outside the box. What's more likely, a tornado? But a terrorist attack isn't as crazy as you thought it would be a few years ago, isn't it? Also, analyze the consequences of those services going down. If there's no power, then you need to do something about all that meat you have in the fridge. You can dry it or can it. Think of what the supplies you would need for these tasks before you actually need them. You have a complete guide on how to prepare the meat on your computer. How will you get it there if there's no power? Print everything that you consider important. Water. No one can last too long without water. The urban survivalist may find that water is of poor quality, in which case he can make good use of a water filter, or that there is no water available at all. When this happens, a large city where millions live will run out of bottled water within minutes. In my case, tap water isn't very good. I can see black little particles and some other stuff that looks like dead algae. Taste ain't that bad, but not good, but I know there are other parts of the country where it is much worse. To be honest, a high percentage of the country has no potable water at all. For those of you that don't know, potable means drinkable. It means that you can easily consume it. It doesn't have, just bad bacteria and viruses and chemicals and stuff like that. If you can build a well, do so. Set it as your top of the list priority as a survivalist. Water comes before firearms, medicines, and even food. Save as much water as you can. Use plastic bottles, refill soda bottles, and place them in a cool place, preferably inside a black garbage bag to protect it from sunlight. The water will pick up some plastic taste after a few months, but water that tastes a little like plastic is far better than no water at all. Whatever the kind of shit-fan scenario you're dealing with, water will suffer. In my case, the economical crash created problems with the water company. That reduces the maintenance and quality in order to reduce costs and keep their income in spite of the high prices they have to pay for supplies and equipment, most of which comes from abroad, and after the 2001 crash cost 3 times as more. As always, the little guy gets to pay for it. Same would go for floods or chemical or biological attacks. Water requires delicate care and it will suffer when shits a fan in one way or another. In this case, when you still have tap water, a quality filter is in order, as well as a pump if you can have one. A manual pump would be ideal as well if possible. Estimate that you need approximately 1 gallon per person per day. Try to have at least 2 or 4 weeks worth of water. More would be preferable. Power. I spent way too much time without power for my taste. Power has been a problem in my country even before the 2001 crisis. The real problem starts when you spend more than just a few hours without light. Just after Shit-Fan 2001, half the country went without power for 3 days. Buenos Aires was one big dark grave. People got caught in elevators, food rotted, hospitals that only had a few hours worth of fuel for their generators ran out of power. Without power, days got to be a lot shorter. Once the sun sets, there is not much you can do. I read under candlelight and flashlight, and your head starts to hurt after a while. You can work around the house a little bit, but only as long as you don't need power tools. Crime also increases once the lights go out. So whenever you have to go somewhere in a blackout, carry a flashlight in one hand and a handgun in the other. Summarizing, being in a city without light turns out to be depressing after a while. I spent my share of nights alone, listening to the radio, eating canned food, and cleaning my guns under the light of my headlamp. Then I got married, had a son, and find out when you have loved ones around you, blackouts are not as bad. The point is that a family helps morale in these situations. A note on flashlights. Have 2 or 3 LED headlamps. They're not expensive and are worth their weight in gold. A powerful flashlight is necessary, something like a big mag light or better, yet surefire, especially when you have to check your property for intruders. But for the more mundane stuff, like preparing food, going to the toilet, or doing stuff around the house, the LED headlamps are priceless. Try washing the dishes in the dark while holding a 60 lumen flashlight in one hand, and you'll know what I mean. LEDs also have the advantage of lasting for almost an entire week of continuous use, and the light bulb, lasts forever. Rechargeable batteries are a must. Get a solar power battery charger, or else you'll end up broke if the lights go out often. Have a healthy amount of spare quality batteries and try to standardize them as much as you can. I have 12 Samsung NM 25 megahertz AA and 8 AAA 800 megahertz for headlamps. I use D-cell plastic adapters in order to use AA batteries in my 3D cell mag light. This turned out worked quite well, better than I expected. I also keep about 2 to 3 packs of regular Duracell batteries just in case. These are supposed to expire around 2012, so I can forget about them until I need them. Rechargeable NM batteries have the disadvantage of losing power after a period of time, so keep regular batteries as well and check the rechargeable ones every once in a while. After all these years of problem with power, what 2 items would I love to have? 1, the obvious, a generator. I carried my fridge food to my parents' house way too many times in the past. Too bad I can't afford one right now. 2, a battery charger that has both a solar panel and a small crank. They're not available here. I saw that they're relatively inexpensive in the USA. Do yourself a favor and get 1 or 2 of these. Even if they don't charge as well as regular ones, I'm sure it will put enough power to charge batteries for an LED lamps at least. Gas. Gas has decreased in quality as well. There is little gas. Try to have an electronic oven in case you have to go without it. If both electricity and gas go down, one of those camping stoves can work as well if you keep a good supply of gas cans or gas bottles. The ones that work with liquid fuel seem to be better in the long run since they can use different types of fuel. You can only store a limited amount of compressed gas. Sorry, my pamphlet missed the rest of that. But anyways, one more thing I wanted to go over in this book, in this pamphlet, is guns, ammo, and other gear. After shit hit fan in 2001, only the most narrow-minded, brainwashed, butterfly IQ level idiots believed that the police would protect them from the crime wave that followed the collapse of our economy. A lot of people that would have been considered anti-gun before ran to the gun shops, seeking advice on how to defend themselves and their families. So, as those of y'all in the United States know, that kind of happened earlier this year, back in March, with COVID-19. They would buy a .38 revolver, a box of ammo, and leave it in the closet, probably believing that it would magically protect them from intruders. Oh, maybe you don't think that firearms are really necessary, or beliefs do not allow you to buy a tool designed to kill people. So you probably ask yourself, is a gun really necessary when shit hits the fan? Will it truly make a difference? Having gone through a shit hits the fan scenario myself, total economic collapse in the year 2001, and still dealing with the consequences 5 years later, I feel I can answer that question. Yes, you need a gun, pepper spray, a machete, a battle axe, club with a rusty nail sticking out of it, or whatever weapon you can get a hold of. A lot has been written on survival weapons. Everyone that is into armed survival has his or her own idea of the ideal gun battery. Some are oriented to a hunting point of view, others only self-defense means, and others consider a little of both. Look for general purpose weapons. Talking about guns, there is one special ass subject I would like to rectify, and it's the point on what's the primary weapon for the survivalist, specifically an urban survivalist that has no function in society. Yes, even after schizophrenic people. If you are interested in real world schizophrenic situation and you want to be prepared for the real deal, then understand that this isn't black and white. You don't want to wake up one day and listen to the radio that the economy collapsed and the stock market closed indefinitely. Anyways, that's just kind of a short part of the whole thing. You can download it online. There's websites and blogs that you can read all about it. Again, it's total 2 hour or so read. I don't want to just bore y'all with the entire thing. You can definitely do it for yourself. I recommend printing it out and rereading it as often as possible. Thank y'all so much for watching. Please like, it helps me out a ton. Comment your questions, subscribe, and ring the bell for further content. Thanks.